Co-main event time, beautiful people. Listen, check this out. Two young, hard-hitting, good-looking, devastating southpaws, eager to become superstars. And listen, beautiful people. Callum Walsh, the pride of Ireland, going up against royalty blood, Fernando Vargas Jr., the son of the legend and Hall of Famer Fernando Vargas. Listen to this. Now, if you actually think about it, when you hear both men talk, when you see both men walk, when you look at them fighting, they are both dying to become superstars. And listen, whoever wins this fight, they might just very well become a superstar. Now, let's get into the fight breakdown, but let's first talk about both men. You know, listen, as an MMA fan, as a long-time MMA fan, before I was a boxing fan, Callum Walsh, the man's been getting shoved down my throat for years. Every time I open my UFC Fight Pass account, Callum Walsh is everywhere. Every time I watch a UFC card, Callum Walsh is everywhere. Every time I watch a UFC Apex card, the man is always front row. Every time I watched a UFC podcast, the man is always mentioned. Dana White always mentions him. And I don't mind that. Why? Because the man got everything it takes to become the next star and face of Irish boxing. Now, he is a massive favorite coming into this fight. He's backed by Dana White, Tom Loeffler, the former promoter of Gennady Golovkin, new entity that just came in, Zuffa Boxing, that they're looking to take over the sport of boxing. And their main face is Callum Walsh. And also the man is backed by Turki Al-Sheikh, backed by the UFC, backed by every single giant entity that you can think of. But there's something about Fernando Vargas Jr. I absolutely love everything about Fernando Vargas Jr., the massive underdog. Listen, Fernando Vargas, he looks like a superstar. He talks like a star. His story is absolutely phenomenal. You know, the man, if you actually go back and watch his dad's tape of his old fights, you can always see Fernando Vargas as a baby walking into the ring with his dad. And to be honest, I actually see a lot of myself in Fernando. You know, the man is a family man. He absolutely adores and idolizes his father. The man, you know, just... You gotta love everything about Fernando Vargas Jr. And actually, I just discovered recently that his story is much more interesting than what I thought. The man, even though he came from like a rich royal family when it comes to boxing, but the man took the wrong path a few years ago. And he actually went to prison, believe it or not, beautiful people. He went to prison, and when he was in prison, he was like, listen, the moment I get out, I'm going to chase my dreams. I'm going to lock in, and I'm going to become the next superstar. I'm going to make my parents proud. And he actually, he said something that kind of made me even want to root more for him. He was like, every time my mom was visiting me in prison or in jail, I'm not even sure. But every time my mom was visiting me when I was locked up, the look in her eyes, the suffering in her eyes, lit a fire in me. I was like, I will never ever disappoint my parents again. And he got out of prison and he actually started working in construction. He helped with the construction, I believe, to build Allegiant Stadium. And what do you know? Now the man is the co-main event for the first boxing fight ever in Allegiant Stadium. You can't make this up, beautiful people. The man is a southpaw. The man got power. The man is explosive, but the man can fight on the back foot. And that is something that Callum Walsh cannot do. And that might just very well be the tipping point for him to win this fight. And let's talk about it, beautiful people. Now, listen, Callum Walsh is the favorite for a reason. If you actually look at both men, yes, both are hard-hitting southpaws, but honestly, you can tell that Callum Walsh is more heavy-handed. Like you can tell that there's more just thump to his punches. There's more violence behind his shots. But Fernando is actually quicker when it comes to pulling the trigger. He's quicker when you talk about letting go with the 1-2 or letting go with the uppercut. Callum is slower, but he is more heavy-handed. You can tell that his punches demand more respect. And if you actually think about it, the man definitely got the better amateur background. I mean, the man fought all over the world, multiple time amateur champion, and Fernando basically had no amateur career whatsoever, but the man is learning on the job and it is time. It is time for him to step up. Both men are young, but because of the backing of Callum Walsh, he can afford to lose a few more fights. He can afford to lose his undefeated record. He can afford to not look good, but he will still be backed. But for Fernando Vargas Jr., for some reason, the world, they're treating him like, you only got this shot, and if you fail, you're done. And I don't really get why, because the man is very marketable. The man got an unbelievable personality. The man is just, every time I hear him speak, I root for him more and more and more, and I will be rooting for him in this fight. And I'm going to be picking him for this fight, even though he is a massive underdog, and listen, all the odds are stacked against him. But let me tell you this. You know, if you, let's do a scale on a scale of 1 to 10. What are the odds for Callum Walsh to win? And I'm going to be honest, it's more 7, 8 out of 10. He's going to win this fight. But this is a fight. And I believe Fernando Vargas is born to win this fight. And was born to shine on this moment as the underdog and explode into the scene and prove all of his doubters wrong. You hear all the criticism. The only reason why he's here is because he's the son of Fernando Vargas. The only reason why he's here is because of this, because of that. He keeps on talking, but he absolutely fought nobody. Nobody's behind him. He doesn't have a big promoter behind him. He doesn't have a big management team behind him. He doesn't even have a network behind him. But the exact opposite goes for Callum Walsh. Everyone are behind the man. Even the UFC. Before Dana White entered boxing, he was 1,000,000% behind Callum Walsh. So, in all honesty, I'm not just picking Fernando Vargas because he is like the better fighter, even though, I mean, both of them, they're pretty close. I mean, you can definitely make the case that Callum is more polished and he is more seasoned. But let me tell you this, beautiful people. When you talk about a fight, anything and everything can happen, and not just that. More times than not, it's the fighting spirit, it's the journey that leads you to this point. And when you look at the full package, I like the full package of Fernando Vargas Jr. more than the package of Callum Walsh. Don't get me wrong, Callum Walsh might go on to become a world champion. Who's to say? The man got everything it takes, like I said. The man is humble, he's hard-hitting, he's good-looking. Like I said, the man got everything it takes to become a superstar, no doubt. But I don't know, maybe it's because the world is doubting Fernando. Maybe it's because he is, like, out of all his brothers, I believe, like, no one gives him the respect. I want to see the man win. That's all I'm saying. And I believe I'm going to see the man win. And I believe the man is going to win by knockout. It's because knockout is his only path to victory. If this fight goes to the scorecards, and let's be honest, he's not going to dominate by decision. He's not going to get the decision. Why? I simply told you why. Everyone, and I mean everyone, they're backing Callum, the promoter of this event. I mean, listen, don't even get me started with, you know, like we're talking about Zuffa Boxing. They're touting him to become the face of Zuffa boxing. And this is the first Zuffa boxing card in association with Riyadh Season and Turkey Al Sheikh and Ring Magazine. So if there was ever going to be when you talk about something like favoritism, it is on this night, beautiful people. And especially, they're putting Callum Walsh as the co-headliner for the biggest fight of our time. What does that tell you? That tells you that more than likely, if this fight goes to decision, there's absolutely no chance that he's losing a decision. And that is why I actually listened to a few interviews of Fernando, and he knows. He knows what's up. And I love that. I absolutely love that about the man. He's not delusional. He's extremely realistic. He was like, hey, listen, I know everyone's against me. I know I'm not going to get the decision if this fight goes to the scorecards, so I got to knock him out. I'm not going to look for the knockout, but I'm going to create my openings, and I'm going to catch him, and I'm going to finish him. And if you actually think of it, Callum Walsh, I have watched every single professional fight of his. Why? It's because every single fight is on UFC Fight Pass, and they actually send you the notification before the fight takes place. But let me tell you, the man can't fight on the back foot. The man is a bully. Bottom line, Callum Walsh fights like a bully. And how do you beat a bully? You push him and you make him fight on the back foot. And that is the game plan of Fernando Vargas Jr. And I actually heard him say this. He goes like, I don't think, he said this in one of his interviews. He said, I haven't really seen Callum Walsh fight on the back foot. That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear. Why? Is because he sees what I see. Callum Walsh is a bully, I'm telling you. I mean, that doesn't mean he's a bad person outside of doing. He's an unbelievable person. I'm sure. Even though I have no idea. I've never met the man. But I'm pretty sure the man is amazing. But I'm just talking about inside the ring. He fights like a bully. And you gotta push him back. And you gotta unload and let your hands go with power shots. He never fought a puncher. Never, never, never. And actually, a couple of fights ago, you can make the case that he lost the fight. But, he suffered a few adversities, and you can tell that the man, he keeps on looking to Tom Loeffler and keeps on looking to Dana White, ringside, when he is going through adversity. You can tell that the man isn't, I could be wrong, but I feel like the man isn't willing to leave it all in the ring. And I believe with all the odds and with all the pressure on Fernando Vargas, he's been dying for this opportunity and he's willing to leave a massive chunk of himself inside the ring. And I believe that's going to be the main difference. And like I said, Callum, he's a southpaw, but I believe he got dynamite in that check hook in the lead hand. You know what I mean? So I believe that he is not going to just rely on his backhand, the left hand. I believe he's going to rely actually more on the punch variety from his lead hand. But Fernando, like I said, he's quicker. He might not hit as hard. And I'm still not sure how much of a power puncher he is, even though he is touted as a power puncher. But I don't believe that Fernando Vargas is a devastating puncher. But I believe he can definitely gain your respect. And he can definitely sneak in the shot that you don't see. And beautiful people, the shot that hurts you the most is the shot that you don't see. So, maybe I've been just talking for 15 minutes, nearly. Maybe I'm being hopeful, maybe I'm being wishful, maybe because I am sold on the Fernando Vargas Jr. story. Call me crazy, call me delusional. But I'm backing Fernando Vargas Jr. to win this fight, the massive underdog. I believe the man is like, I don't know, is he like 4 or... Callum is nearly 5-1 favorite, which is absolutely crazy. I'm riding with the underdog. And not only am I riding with the underdog, but I'm picking the underdog to win by knockout. And I'm picking him to win by knockout in a star-breaking performance. And with all the Mexican fans in attendance in Allegiant Stadium tuning in and showing up to support Canelo, Fernando can come in, knock out Callum Walsh, and get all the Mexican fan base behind him. You can't make this up, beautiful people. You cannot make this up. I am backing Fernando Vargas Jr. to make his dad proud and to prove Dana White wrong and to shock the world and to spoil all of Zuffa Boxing's plans and to knock out and stop and derail Callum Walsh, knock out the young prospect, stop him in his tracks and take away his fans and burst into the boxing world as potentially the next title challenger at 154, but most importantly, the next star of Mexican boxing. Come on, Fernando Vargas Jr., you got this, brother. And hey, listen. God willing, the man wins, expects him to be on this channel. Let's go, Fernando. You got this. We're behind you over here in the Middle East, in the UAE. Well, I am. Let's go. You got this.